Hi, it's John Atkin from the AFC. What I want to look at today is the use of ninjutsu stances. A lot of people go, it's awful, it's old school, you wouldn't be able to use it as a practicality. That's far from the truth. Once you look at the basic, look at the stances, they're very practical in this day and age. People think they're not, but they can be used to make practicality. Too many mysticisms around ninjutsu, too much bullshit about it. It's practical art with practical applications. If you look at the first stance, like Shizen is a natural stance, you would stand outside doing it. If you look at Ichimonji does look big, it does look impostural, so you're making strikings from that. But it's a first receiving stance, you're getting used to doing the stancing and used to how the body mechanics work on movement. And weight-wise, you're transferring weight from one side to the other to make strike. You don't have to step through. Traditionally, stepping through came from the weaponry part of it. In this case, it doesn't need it, or it can do it, and you don't have to do it if you don't want to. People then go, oh, it's a boxing punch, and it's this, and it's that. It's not really. If we look at Doku, and Doku is a stance. Doku is blocking. If you're in the armor, you would sit with the armor up, you would hold the stance there. If you had a sword, you would hold it there. And in the armor, you would hold it there. If you were making it as a blocking action, rather than holding it on you, you would knock out of movement to it. So you would hit something out. From height-wise, if I went from here and I wanted to strike, I can either step through and strike, or I can strike from that angle. So 1, 2. Looks like a right cross in a sense, in a boxing sense, but it's still a punch, no matter what you say. It's Fudokan, full fist. So my Doku edge can knock a technique out and punch from it, rather than using it as a covering edge where I get hit and I have to punch off this one. I can use it as a blocking edge and strike off it. So weight-wise, I can go from here and release the technique. Here. So if I use the stance from Ichimonji, step out the block to Doku, then throw my punch. It's a practicality use of the technique of a stance where you go Ichimonji, Doku Ichimonji. The Ichimonji to Doku Ichimonji pulls my weight into here. There's no flare of the elbow, so it's defending my posture correctly, and then I can leverage weight off it. From that position, I go from 1, 2, 1, 2. If we look at the stance of Jumonji Kumite in this form, in the armor I couldn't bring my hands in. The armor would restrict my movement and make it stay further out. If we look at old style boxing, it was used in this form, normally because I had no gloves or the gloves weren't great. So in posture wise, the line does that. Your hands would be in Boshiken or Boshiken technique. In this case, if I look at it as an old school boxing movement, you'd see people defend with the shoulders, then throw a shot from angle wise. So it slips through the shoulder edge and strike. If I used the same principle, if I went from this position, you would think there'd be a back fist entry, either forehand or backhand entry, karate type style movement. In this case, the same application could be turned if I turn my posture. Turn my posture this way, it punches like that, like a 45 jab. In sense wise, I'm not changing my hand line, I'm changing my posture line. When I change my posture line, it creates my jab. So an application on the back, I change my posture line to there, which creates that chop. Change my posture line to there, elbow doesn't kick out, posture line goes through. If I use the same principle on the opposite form and turn this line to here, the same strike could be used in the same way. So the line of my hand doesn't change, so this won't damage my wrist, and then it can go straight out. So posture line goes from there, and releases that way. From here, there, and releases that way. So you've got 1 there, 1 there. If I use the Uraken, and 1 there, and 1 there. I can step through if I want, and use the same element. So the practicality of the old, what people class as old style stances that aren't useful, are massively useful as long as you keep the stance. Your frame, your size, your shape, it's your signature. Yeah, right? Why I?